The first time my husband came home late, I didn't think much of it. I mean, work deadlines, traffic, meetings that run long. We'd been married for 12 years. Routine was normal, but then it kept happening. Once a week, then twice, then nearly every single night. He'd walk in quietly, kiss my forehead, and say the exact same thing. Sorry, long day? I wanted to believe him. I really did, because the alternative felt so much worse. One evening, while I was putting away laundry, I found it. The journal. It was hidden behind the heavy winter coats in our hall closet. Black cover, no title. I didn't mean to open it. I truly didn't, but the first page stopped me cold. Day 1. I didn't plan for this to happen again. My heart started pounding in my chest. Again. What did he mean? Again. I turned the page. I promised myself I wouldn't get attached. But she reminds me of who I was before everything broke. My hands were trembling so badly I could barely hold the book. This wasn't a work journal. This wasn't about stress. This was a confession. Page after page described these secret evenings, long walks, conversations that he said felt dangerously real. He never used a name, just her. She doesn't know I'm married. I slid down to the floor, my back against the closet wall, just trying to breathe. I wanted to confront him right then and there, scream, throw the journal at him, demand answers, but something held me back. I kept reading. She thinks I'm helping her. Maybe I am. Maybe I need this more than she does, helping her. What did that mean? Then I reached the entry that changed everything. She cried tonight, said she didn't feel safe going home. I told her she could always stay longer. My stomach just dropped. This wasn't an affair, not in the way you'd think. This was something else, something darker. I closed the journal and put it back exactly where I found it. I didn't sleep that night, not 1 minute. The next evening, I followed him. He left the house at 7:10 p.m. He didn't notice my car a few lengths behind him. He drove clear across town, past restaurants, past offices, into a quiet residential neighborhood. He parked near a small, dimly lit park. He got out of his car and just waited. A few moments later, a young woman approached. She looked to be in her early 20s, thin, and so nervous. They didn't hug. They didn't touch. They just started walking, side by side, talking. I followed at a distance, my heart in my throat. They sat on a park bench. I watched as she wiped tears from her face. He leaned forward, listening so intently. I felt sick, not from jealousy, but from fear. Who was she? Why was my husband inserting himself so deeply into her life? They walked again, this time toward an old, poorly lit apartment building. He stopped at the entrance. She went inside. He just stayed there, staring at the door for what felt like an eternity before he turned and left. I confronted him that night. I couldn't hold it in for 1 more second. I know about her, I said, the words barely a whisper, his face drained of all color. You read it. He whispered back. Who is she? I demanded, my voice shaking. He sat down slowly, like the weight of it all had finally crushed him. She's not who you think, he said. She came to the community center, he explained. To a counseling group for abuse survivors. I just stared at him, confused. You're not a counselor. I know, he said quickly. I was just volunteering, just listening. He told me about her life, a controlling boyfriend. The isolation, the constant fear. She started depending on me, he said, his voice cracking. And I didn't stop it. Why? I asked, my own voice breaking. He looked at the floor, unable to meet my eyes. Because she made me feel needed. The honesty of those words hurt more than I ever expected. You lied to her, I said. And you lied to me. I never touched her, he insisted, finally looking up. I swear. And I believed him, but that didn't make it okay. You were replacing something, I said quietly. He nodded. I felt invisible, he admitted. Like my life was just over. A heavy silence filled the room. What happens now? I asked. He swallowed hard. I end it, he said, for real. The next day, he met her one last time in a public coffee shop. He told her everything. His marriage, the lies, the truth about his role at the center. I didn't follow this time. He came home early, his eyes red and his hands shaking. She cried, he said, but she understood. Weeks turned into months. We started therapy, together and separately. Trust didn't come back overnight. Some nights, I'm still not sure it's fully there. But I learned something important. Infidelity doesn't always look like sex. Sometimes it looks like an emotional rescue. Like being someone's lifeline when you're the one who's drowning. The journal is still in the closet. I haven't opened it since. It's a reminder that the most dangerous secrets aren't always about desire. They about the desperate need to feel alive when you've forgotten who you are. This is NIGHTLINE, and sometimes the distance that breaks a marriage is only a few quiet conversations away. Thank you for watching.